Hey there guys, what is going on? Welcome back to, of course, the Cold War beta. Right now, Treyarch has been absolutely going in on this beta right now. They've extended it a little bit. I think it lasts until the 20th now, which is very, very exciting. And they have, of course, actually unlocked every single attachment for every single weapon in this game. So if you are looking for some of the best class setups in the beta, while we do still have access to it, make sure you hit that subscribe button with those notifications turned on. We'll be releasing a couple more videos, hopefully, showing off some of the best class setups in the Cold War beta right now. Of course, this is all subject to change, and that is what it is because this is a beta test after all. We are, of course, talking about the Milano 821 here, which is basically the Uzi, and it is an absolute banger in this game. This weapon does feature a relatively slow fire rate compared to some of the other weapons in the SMG category, but it makes up for it with high damage, and I think I'm not 100% sure of this because I haven't really tested it out because I can't really test it out. I think it has a 2-shot headshot. It's very similar to the Uzi from Modern Warfare. So let's just jump into the class setup here because this thing absolutely bangs. Starting off with our secondary here, we're going with the Gallo SA-12 because it is an absolute monster in this game, of course. We've set it up with the Agency Choke, the Paratrooper Barrel, the SWAT 5mm laser, the no stock, and then of course the Stanag 12 round tube. Basically you can set up your secondary however you like, it doesn't really matter too much, but all we're going for is a little bit of extended damage range with these attachments and then giving us the maximum sort of hip fire spread, making it very, very easy for us to hit our shots. In terms of the tactical, we are running that stim shot basically because getting that extra chance per life and it refreshes itself is really, really nice here. Basically you get into a gunfight, you win that gunfight, you stab yourself in the leg and we can keep going. The lethal is of course the C4 because you can chuck it really, really far in the game. Unlike Modern Warfare now, basically you can just chuck it over walls, around corners and stuff, get an easy kill. And the field upgrade that we do want to go with, of course, is of course that field microphone because it is very, very powerful. Basically it does give you that mini advanced UAV in a very select area, and it does help you control sort of flanks and stuff like that, and really, really powerful piece of equipment here. In terms of our wildcard, we're of course going with perk greed. As you can tell here, we've got a bunch of perks. Perk greed basically lets you pick an extra perk from each perk category, which is really, really nice. And for our perks, we're going with that tac mask because the stun grenades in this game are really, really annoying. The flak jacket as well because the rest of the grenades in the C4s are really annoying in this game, especially on those objective game modes. Perk 2, we do want that scavenger just so we can get extra ammo for players if we are going on those longer streaks, and tracker so we can see those enemy footprints. In the perk 3 slot, we do want ghost here because staying off of those spy planes is really, really nice here, and then ninja basically to make us sprint more quietly, resistant to the field microphone when sprinting, and speak only when necessary. Ninja is a really good perk in this game. Dead silence is back. So for our attachments on the Milano 821, of course, we are going with a decent amount of damage range. All the things we do like about the Milano, basically good damage, decent range, that fire rate's kind of slow, but that is what it is. We can't really change that. Starting off here, we do have the Agency Suppressor for that 100% radar signature fade and that 15% increase to our vertical recoil control. With this particular option, it does make it very, very easy for us to hit most shots with this. I mean, it does lose a bit of damage range with the 25% decrease to our effective damage range, but that is not too big of a deal as we do have another attachment to make up for that. Then we move to the 10.1 inch Paratrooper Barrel for that increase to our effective damage range and increase to our muzzle velocity of 80%, which is a really, really nice option here. Essentially, we want to be sending those bullets down range as fast as possible, hitting the target with enough speed to do a lot of damage here. Basically, you can absolutely just beam people with this particular weapon in this class. It's really, really nice here. Then we want to move to the Field Agent Grip in the underbarrel slot. Of course, this does give us a vertical recoil control boost and horizontal recoil control as well, which is really significant here. The magazine, of course, we want the 45 round speed mags. Of course, this does give us that increase to our magazine size and gives us a little bit faster reload speed as well, reducing our aiming speed slightly. And then to combat that, we want that Warden Tight Grip for that faster increase to our aim down sight speed, and then an 80% flinch resistance, which is of course very, very nice here. So of course we're going to jump into some gameplay with this particular option and absolutely shred people. Hopefully we have a decent game here. I mean, every time I turn on the recording so far in the Cold War beta, basically we have a bad game, but we've been doing okay recently, so let's jump into it here. Alrighty here, so Miami is not really anyone's favorite map in the beta currently. It does look really, really nice. I do like the aesthetic that this brings to the table, but I mean, the actual gameplay of the map is not ideal in most situations. Like, it's just kinda not super fun a lot of the time. So if we look at our field microphone here, we can place it up in this particular room up here. We get a... Kind of figured we were going to get pushed there fairly quickly. It covers most of this room here and also some of the points. So if people do start walking towards the point, as they are currently, we can just sort of push over here and have a very good idea of where they are, because the field microphone is actually some of the most powerful equipment they've ever had in this game, essentially basically giving you a very small advanced UAV, which is, that's pretty goofy. Like, I've never seen anything like that added into any of these games. Just like, being able to constantly know where people are, where they're moving and stuff like that. You can rotate around. And there isn't really much they can do about it. Like, it seems very, very strong. And if they get A, I don't know how I really feel about control. I think it's kind of weird. Like, basically, you can just sort of turtle up on one site and it makes it kind of boring. Of course, they are trying to continue to attack B here. Basically, we've got a decent setup going on B, and we just let them have A, and they can't really win here. But you see, it's really... Ooh, almost died there. Jump out of the way of those shots. It's really easy to control the recoil with this particular weapon now, with these attachments. Like, it's a very, very easy to control option. Plus, the bullets do loads of damage, so... I mean, this is a very good weapon in this game, of course, but... A lot of people won't really stick towards the Uzi mostly because of that slow fire rate. People typically go towards weapons with a very high fire rate because, I mean, it's more satisfying. So the MP5 does like sort of fill that role and it's pretty nice here. And of course the AK-74U is really good as well. Like there's a lot of good options in this game, but the one thing that kind of disappoints me about this game more than anything else is like the lack of attachment variety. Like most of the best sort of attachment setups for pretty much every weapon are mostly the same. You'll know what I mean. Like every single time we're going to make a class setup, it's literally just going to be like the last two options, the last option, and that's it. Like that's not going to make for very interesting videos if every single attachment option that we'd recommend for literally every single weapon in this game are the same. You know what I mean? Like, how did that not blow up the van and kill that guy? That doesn't make an awful lot of sense, but I mean, okay, that's fine. Also, the sounds are super loud in this game. Of course, I can turn them down, but everything's like hella bassy and stuff. But it seems we are going to control this fairly nicely here. I mean, this is just such a good spot for a field microphone. It just absolutely stomps people. They cannot push this way without walking into it. So, I mean, that's pretty good. All right, round win there, and we'll jump into the second round. Okay, so attacking should be a little bit different here. I feel like we should definitely go for B before we go for A, because this is actually like the more difficult one to hold, especially if they just sit up in that sort of club building there. So if we come around the left-hand side, we take the wider angle on the... Actually, we can just put a field microphone like here and have an exact location of literally every single person on the map, which is hilarious. And he's got a field microphone as well, so we do have good coverage here. And he's going to try and do the old flankaroo. You can usually get away with a little bit of a pre-fire there, but because I didn't actually know where he was, it was a little bit difficult to pull off there. But most of the time when you do have your field microphone in a decent spot, you can just pre-fire people and they'll just walk into your bullets, which is absolutely hilarious. But, I mean, you have to be kind of careful sometimes. Do we just... Yep. Okay. We just kept B incredibly easily. That's fine. Hard to hit those little pixel shots on people who are just sort of head glitching on that little bit of terrain there. Ooh, don't want to peek that. I've seen the M16's actually pretty good too, and I've also seen the snipers are really good in this game. Mostly because they're like a hit scan, which is wild. Like, we did see in Modern Warfare when they did add a hit scan sniper that the game basically blew up and everyone was like raging about how good it was, but also people were talking about how insane it was. So, alright, we'll go on a little bit of a flank here. We'll see what we can do around the left-hand side. But, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you can just mantle on. Like, it's really, really cool how high you can mantle up in this game. Like, this kind of stuff I imagine you probably wouldn't be able to do in Modern Warfare, but, I mean, you can easily do it in this game. And then there's another little level, another little bit that I definitely want to show you, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get over there. So yeah, this is what I'm talking about here. That's really cool. I really like jumping up there. Take that guy out as well. We're in a really... Ooh, okay, we were in a really good spot there. Until old matey looked up there and was like, hey, wait a minute. Alrighty guys, we're going to have our final thoughts on this in just a second. Not a fantastic gameplay, we only got 12 kills, but I think we did a pretty good job of showing what this class setup's all about. So I know that the Milano 821 did receive a fair few nerfs coming into this particular beta because it was too strong in the most previous weekend, but it still absolutely stomps people. Like, you just get that excellent damage range and that excellent damage with that kind of slow fire rate, but it comes together and it's really, really easy to hit shots with this. It's a very powerful SMG in this game. I'm not 100% sure if it's the best SMG. I've not tested them all out yet with the best attachments and stuff like that, because the later attachment unlocks really do change a lot of the perspective on a lot of the attachments in the game, which is fairly interesting, of course. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching this one. I do appreciate it, of course. Make sure you hit that subscribe button with those notifications turned on if you don't want to miss out on any of the upcoming Cold War content when it does drop next month. And of course, we will be up to date with the Modern Warfare stuff up until the new game does come out. Thank you very much for watching, as I said, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!